Hello guys and welcome to VoloKin Project. Today I'm gonna do a quick camera test of the brand new shiny Oppo Reno Z. Now at the front we've got a 32 megapixel selfie camera. The maximum video resolution is just 1080p and unfortunately there are no signs of video stabilization, so naturally if you run you're gonna get that result. So yeah, let's have a quick look around, guys. If you can figure out what this place is, give me a shout out and you can get some bonus points for that. Yeah, so now let's have a look at a few selfies and then we're gonna move to the back cameras where we're dealing with 4K and stabilization. Okay guys, so how is the camera of the Oppo Reno Z? 32 megapixel selfie unit. The maximum video recording is just 1080p without any stabilization, which is pretty much useless in my opinion. The audio recording is pretty good on the positive side. Now, where this camera shames most of the flagship cameras is the photo quality. 32 megapixel, guys, compared to any 8 megapixel flagship camera, it is going to destroy it. I mean, it is really that good, guys. HDR is amazing. The edge detection while in bokeh mode is pretty good as well. So actually this is one of the best front-facing cameras of any phone I have ever tested. But now let's have a look at the back camera. So at the back we've got a 48 megapixel shooter, guys. The maximum video resolution is 4K and I'm not quite sure about the stabilization. We're gonna test it out at 1080p as well, but let's just run over here. Okay, and now we're gonna have a look at the autofocus. So let's see what we're dealing with. Okay, right. The autofocus is alright, so let's switch to 1080p now. Okay, and there's the 1080p footage, guys. On the camera itself it looks quite more stabilized than the 4K, but let's just do a quick sprint over here to see what we're dealing with. Okay, and now let's have a quick test of the autofocus as well. Okay, autofocus doesn't work pretty much very well on the 1080p, but anyway, let's have a look at a few photos and then you're gonna hear my conclusion. Okay, so how about the back cameras of the Oppo Reno Z? Over here things get a little bit more interesting, but let's talk about the video first. The 4K, the actual quality of the 4K is quite good, but there is no stabilization whatsoever. The audio recording is quite good and the autofocus is amazing as well. In 1080p the things are not that great though. The quality is just average, the stabilization is there but it doesn't work that well, and the autofocus is not very good as well. So in terms of video, unless you're using a tripod, you're not gonna get a very good results, guys. But what surprised me is the quality of the 48 megapixel camera, and I'm saying 48 megapixel because although the sensor is actually 48 megapixels, they've done some trickery, new technology, this and that. Actually you're using the 12 megapixel mode effectively. This is the default mode. Now in 48 megapixel mode, first of all, you don't have AI available, you don't have HDR, as well as there is no zoom whatsoever, so you can't do pretty much nothing with the 48 megapixels. And to be honest with you, the difference between the quality of the 48 megapixel versus the 12 megapixel is not really that great in terms of detail, so most of the time you're going to be shooting in 12 megapixels, and that's where this camera excels, guys. AI, HDR and dazzling color. This is an HDR on top of the HDR, if you know what I mean. So if you're an HDR lover, this camera is definitely going to surprise you in a very fruity way. The other thing is that the nighttime photos are not particularly very good, but you have a dedicated night mode. It brings mixed results, so you have to experiment a little bit with that to see whether you really want it or not. It's up to you, but at the end of the day you've got night mode, and just for the statistics, the Oppo Find X still doesn't have a night mode. So yeah, for a phone under 300 pounds, I bought my one for about 250. Actually, the camera setup surprised me. The photos from the front camera are amazing and the photos from the back camera are pretty good as well. On the side note, you've got a 5 megapixel depth sensor trying to help the back camera, but I mean, the results are questionable. The software does its tricks anyway, so it's a little bit useless. And the other thing is that I love the design of the two cameras, the flash, and you've got this small thingy over here protecting your camera not to get scratched when you place the phone on a flat surface. So it's the little things, guys, but overall, as I said, 250 quid. This is a very good camera. And by the way, my review of the phone is coming down next week. Stay tuned for that, because this is probably, I wouldn't say flagship killer, but I would say the best premium mid-range phones money can buy in late 2019, even in 2020, why not? So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys, and see you in the next one.